Gunman!
So we're taking a stroll down the boardwalk, and what did we happen to come across but Asbury Park Comic Con? I'm your host, Leo Marinac, with co-host Mitch Halleck, and you're watching Con Men.
I still love you!
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to the Asbury Park Comic-Con.
Hi, this is Mitch Halleck. We're here at the Asbury Park Comic-Con, and I have the great fortune right now to speak to Mr. Anythony Snyder, original art extraordinaire, connoisseur. What other things can describe you, Anthony?
Oh, Renaissance man.
Renaissance man. Well, Renaissance man had a lot to do with art, and that's what you're all about.
I've been doing artwork for 20 years. I've been buying, selling, trading, building an inventory of about 20,000 pieces for the past 20 years. And I rep artists, and I buy and sell the older stuff.
Now, what would you say today at the show is your most valuable piece of art you have?
Oh, that would be the Kirby X-Men splash to 4. X-Men 4.
Now, art, we know the stock market's going up and down, but how's art as an investment for the average person?
It's steady climb, and then you see some shocking jumps at times. What makes the value go up is new collectors entering the marketplace with new money and them being nostalgic about a certain piece or time period that just propels. Like 80s stuff now can be hugely valuable, where, you know, when I first started in the 90s, 80s stuff was just not that old. So like the McFarlane Spider-Man covers was a shocking results of a couple covers going, you know, for $600,000, $400,000.
Wow, we're talking some big cash then. Now, but if you're just starting to get into it, what would you recommend somebody who doesn't have hundreds of thousands of dollars to look into?
Well, that's really simple. I mean, you just got to look for what you like. If you're a Wolverine fan, you know, look for, that's how I structure my material at the shows. All my X-Men stuff is in my X-Men book. It's not by artists, you know, because people say, hey, got any Wolverine stuff or got any Superman stuff? 99 out of 100 ask fors at a show is by character like that. So that's why I structure my books like that. All my website has to be structured alphabetically, and I have, you know, probably the largest website on the web as far as the volume of stuff, because I do offer, you know, all price points to collectors everywhere. So, I mean, you know, you can pick up a Wolverine, different kind of Wolverine page for 50, 100, 150, 200, and, you know, that's something that you like and you're not going to, you know, ever get hurt on. You don't spend money on art. You just put money into it. You translate one paper for another.
Gunman!
If you want to be inspired at a Comic-Con, this is definitely inspirational. Why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do here?
My name's Terry Browning. I'm part of the 501st Legion and also the Rebel Legion. We're a worldwide costuming group. We make professional grade, screen accurate costumes. We do it all ourselves, and then we donate our time for charity. We do stuff, you know, we go to fundraising walks, children's libraries, children's hospitals. For conventions, stuff like this, we have called Blaster Trooper, where we have our armored guys, and then they get behind a backdrop and we take Nerf guns, and for donation, 100% of proceeds for here go into New Jersey hurricane relief. And for a small donation, you get to shoot them with Nerf guns. But basically, we just make the costumes for fun. As long as we're not making any money off of it, Lucasfilm is, you know, authorizes us and actually supports us.
So how did you come up with the idea to do Star Wars and, you know, blast a trooper for charity?
Well, we're all just, huge Star Wars fans. We're all, of that age when we were 5 or 6 when Star Wars came out in the 70s. And, it's just you come a little bit later in life, you get some money, some spare time, and you're like, I want to be a real-life action figure. Growing up, playing with the action figures, and now here we are, we're actually live-action figures. Once it's a hobby, it's a skill, you start learning. I mean, we're grown men, we have to learn how to sew, doing rivets and dremeling and vacuum forming. And then ultimately, we usually make more than one costume. Like right now, we have the 501st Legion is the bad guy costuming, and then the Rebel Legion is the good guy costuming. But we're both sister organizations, we work together.
That's fantastic. Well, may the force be with you all. And thank you very much for all your hard work and dedication. And stay tuned, we got some other great stuff coming right up.
Gunmen!
And I have the great fortune of speaking to Mr. Jim Salicrup. You might remember that name if you're an old-time Marvel zombie like me. It was always on the masthead right after Stan Lee Presents. But he's got a rich history. Comics is his life, and it was and is and still is. But we're here now talking about his new venture, which is paper cuts. Jim, welcome to Con Man.
Hey, great to be a part of Con Man.
How's the con life been?
I love it. What it is I'm really a comics fan. And I go to these conventions the same reason why fans go to it. I want to see, the people whose work I love and admire, and I love the people, and I love the fans, and I found new artists that way. I found people who've become friends for a lifetime. So conventions are the best.
Well, I'm having that moment too, because I'm talking to the guy that the nuns used to take my comic books and rip them to shreds, and it's all your fault that I'm not a doctor or a scientist.
Against me, both at Marvel and at Paper Cuts. We did comic biographies of Pope John Paul II.
I remember that.
That's a nun-approved comic, so I don't think they'd have any problems with me. There was something called the Comics Code Authority. So it didn't matter, even if it was Marvel or DC or Gold Key or Harvey, Disney, Dell, whatever. It was all, suitable to be read both by children and an older audience as well. And that's really what Paper Cuts is about, trying to do comics for all ages. Comics are seen as something for teens and older, and a company like Paper Cuts has to go try to start it all over again and try to get children into comics.
Here, Three Stooges.
On the first one, this is the second volume, but we got Moe's daughter, Norman Mara's widow, to write the introduction.
Yeah.
And again, it's like that Adam West moment where I can't believe I'm on the phone sometimes or exchanging emails with Mo Howard's daughter. So comics are, they're very exciting and a lot of fun.
Thank you for your work. And where can folks find out more about Paper Cuts right now?
Well, believe it or not, they could go to papercuts with a Z at the end.com and see all the titles we publish. We even do superheroes. We do the Power Rangers, and we have our biggest hit is something called Lego Ninjago.
Gunmen!
A man who wasn't even supposed to be here today, but he is. Mr. Brian O'Halloran. How are you, Brian?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me here.
It's a couple weeks after St. Patrick's Day, so I know Cliff and Rob are sure to have it then. But, for our Irish fans out there, did you have a nice St. Patty's Day?
I did. I had a wonderful St. Patrick's Day. I actually remembered it. So some people have said, well, it wasn't a good St. Patrick's Day if you can remember it. But I did. I actually had a really great time.
And going back in the brain cells, what was your fondest memory on either Clerks 1 or Clerks 2?
Well, Clerks 1, the fondest memory was going to Sundance Film Festival and finding out that the tickets had sold out ahead of time, that the theater had sold out. That was a really weird kind of moment, and being interviewed by MTV at the time and all that type of stuff was really, really cool. Clerks 2, there's some really great moments. What was really fun was, the first film, we all had regular jobs while we were making the movie. The second one, this is it. We were on, a really great time, great friends, hung out all the time. Rosario Dawson was awesome to work with. We got to bring in so many great cameos in, like Wanda Sykes and Ben Affleck and Jason Lee and whatnot. So, we had to take over an entire go-kart park for a day, which was so much fun. I got to hang and make out with the beautiful Rosario Dawson.
Tough work, man. It's tough work. Somebody's got to do it.
When you look at your checklist, make out with Rosario Dawson. Okay. Now make out with Kevin's real-life wife. Okay. That was just odd. It was nothing. Donkey show next. It's just bizarre. So we'll see what happens.
Also did the lamented, long-lived Clerks cartoon series. Now, what was that like doing a voiceover?
That was a dream come true. It was the absolute favorite thing out of all the Kevin Smith movies. Like, it's one of the definite favorite things because we got to do anything we wanted. Plus, we got to work with some really greats in the industry. I mean, we got to work with Dave Mandel, who was producer and writer extraordinaire for the Seinfeld days. Yep. We got to work with Gwyneth Paltrow. We got Gilbert Gottfried came in and did a couple of voices for us. We got Michael McKean came in and did a couple of voices. We got Chris Rock come in and do a couple of voices. It was a lot of Mario Joyner, and the list went on and on and on. And it was something that was such a stab to the heart that when it was canceled, that it just was never given a fair chance. Now I'm hoping that someday Kevin will revisit this.
Now, have you ever had a weird reaction when you walk into a 7-Eleven or a convenient mart? Did they do a recognition thing like, hey, aren't you supposed to be on this side of the counter?
No, usually those guys and women who work that job are so lost their souls that they don't even recognize people as people anymore. You're just an item. They look at the item in your hand and how much it's going to be. They don't even,
no eye contact.
There's no more eye contact anymore. They're afraid that if you exchange eye contact, you're about to be robbed. So it's just best to look at the cigarette or best to look at the, the snowball type of cake in their hand and go, "Sadly, $2.50, sir."
Gunman!
When did you get your start? How old were you when you started drawing Cap?
I was all of 18 years. There was a ad in the New York Times. They wanted someone to do backgrounds for Captain America, and I said to my dad, I'll go tomorrow, because it was Columbus Day. He said, you go today. We went back and forth, He won. I went up there, got the job in 10 minutes, hired by Don Rico, who did the Young Allies.
Fans watch and say, no Captain America from the big movie that came out last year in the Avengers, but how do they compare between then and now?
You mean with Dick Purcell, where he walked around in underwear in a 12-part cereal? There's no comparison. We're so sophisticated today. They're doing a great job in the movies. Marvel, Disney took it over, and they're really doing good with the movies. It's just, one is better than the other. I was in Hollywood. We were invited to the opening of Captain America movie, and I said to Kevin Feige, the producer, president of Marvel Films, I said, you made the Red Skull look so clean, so beautiful. I said, he should have rotten teeth and little beady eyes. But I said, who can argue with success?
Now, are there any other characters that you drew back then you wish were still around today?
Well, I created a strip called Let's Play Detective, where you turn the page upside down to get the solution. Marvel is now reprinting it in our hardcover books and magazines.
Well, do you have any favorite drawings out here? Is anyone that comes to mind? Is it Cap punching out Hitler? Is that a good one?
That's a very good one. And I have one here where I've got Stan Lee and Batman. Stan has inspired me to keep going. And I love the fans here. They are my lifeline. And without conventions, I don't know what I'd be doing now.
You're doing phenomenal business here, and God bless you. You keep going.
Gunman!
Literally bumping into Mr. Dan DiDio. What brings you out to Asbury Park?
Oh, you know what? I really enjoy the small shows like this, the local shows that have that great flair. A lot of local artists. It's this great comic book feel to it. I mean, one of those things, I heard the show was in the area. I was actually on my way to Atlantic City, so I decided to pull on over. And I mean, this is the stuff that keeps the business alive. So I wanted to say hi to Michael, because, I haven't seen him for a while. And, last I saw him was doing all the hype and hoopla going around with Dark Knight Rises. So it's fun to catch up now, too.
Do you remember the very first convention you went to as a fan, not as a guest? And what was it, or where was it?
The first convention I went to, it was a convention called the LunaCon. It was in 1970. How about that?
I was 4, so I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, I wasn't much older, but I went there. My sister took me. The guests, because I still have the brochure. Really? Yes, I do. The guests of the show were Isaac Asimov and Len Wein, of all things. It was actually the predecessor of what soon to became a lot of the science fiction and Star Trek conventions. It actually, before the Star Trek convention started hit, that was the first one. And then after that, I had gone to a couple of Star Treks. Then the infamous one was the Phil Seuling Second Sundays.
Yeah, the New York ones. I used to
on that, and we just make the trip in for those on a regular basis as well. So that's why I always enjoy conventions like this. I always have a lot of fun. I loved to write in those days, and I used to turn stuff in on a regular basis, and it was good because early on you used to meet a lot more of the talent because they all used to be local, especially at DC, about how anybody they worked with used to live and actually congregate in the New York area because they knew that's the best way to get a job.
Right.
Now you got everybody working all over the country and all over the world, so it's much more international. I mean, just because of the way you can send information around, and we don't even have to ship the actual artboards anymore. You can actually just have people just email things on over, and it makes it a lot easier to move art around, but it also makes it more attractive for people to live anywhere they want.
And of course, the digital revolution's hitting us in gangbusters. I mean, now you can go get your iPad or your tablet or whatever and read a comic book wherever you go. Is this something now, I mean, just be a little Nostradamus, if you will, 20 years, 30 years from now, will we always have a tactile print book that we can have in our hands and roll up in a pocket?
I think so. There's a collective sensibility to what we do, and even though we see growth in the digital area, the comics themselves are growing as well. So it's actually going hand in hand right now, which is really nice. It's the community spirit that gets people going. It's coming to good cons like this. It's the collectability of it.
Hey Dan, one of the things, there's a lot of new artists, there's a lot of people out there with their original comics and creations. Do you guys send, scouts for a better word, to go out there and try to find new talent, new writers?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're always sending our editorial team out to a lot of the shows. And I mean, and primarily when they go to the shows, they're not there to do the panels and meet with the regular talent to work with, but they're also out there cruising through Outer Sally and looking to see what's attractive, where the attention is, who seems to be breaking out. I mean, we have a very particular look that we have in our books, but that doesn't stop us from trying to find more eclectic looks as well, especially now as we're starting to expand ourselves in the digital market. We have an opportunity to try different looks, different styles, so it's always great to come to a show like this or any show to see what's out there and what seems to be catching people's attention. One of the things we're very aggressive right now is looking for younger talent and new talent. You want to have that changeover go on. You want a new set of eyes. You want to get a new perspective on the characters. I think that's what keeps the DC characters so vibrant for so long, is the fact that we constantly have different people interpreting stories with them. So I think every time somebody comes in, they have different life experiences that they have, and they find a different way to tell the story. And the same thing with artists. You see art styles change over the years. And if you look at a character like Batman in particular, I mean, you can have somebody that could be looking like the animated style, something that looks photorealistic over here, and every incarnation in between.
Advice for young folks out there that want to get in the comic industry: go to a Comic-Con, buy a table, and try to pitch their ideas.
Yeah, I mean, what I always tell everybody is that you have to keep drawing. If you're an artist, you have to keep writing. If you're a writer, you get yourself published somehow. There's so many ways to do it, whether it's digitally, self-published, or small companies, whatever it takes, and never stop and never take a rejection to heart. Always look to try to improve your craft.
Did you ever get a rejection letter?
I keep them with with a very, like my badge of courage. Actually, it's fun because I got rejection letters from guys who are now working for us at DC. So there you go.
Are you serious? Do you ever go, hey buddy? No, you don't do that.
Couple of times.
You do it? Okay. It's fun. It's fun.
It is. Well, actually, Paul Levitz, who hired me at DC, handed me probably the two most cold rejection letters I ever received in my life. To which after a year or so working there, I brought him and actually ran it in the back of the books once just to show people that anybody can get rejected.
What did Paul say?
He just laughed.
All right, so there's advice. Don't give up, kids. You heard it from Dan to Deo.
Gunman.
I have the distinct pleasure of being with Mr. Jamal Igel. Hello, Jamal.
I'm good. What's up?
Now, you might recognize that name for his run on Supergirl and all that, but you know what? Jamal has done something a lot of fans and artists have only dreamed of. He's done a Kickstarter program for his character, Molly Danger, and it's a successful Kickstarter program, and it's about to come out. And Jamal, how did it all come together? How did the planets line up where you said, I got Molly Danger, I want to get it out to the fans? How am I going to do that?
Well, basically what happened was I had actually revamped, because Molly was an idea that I came up with about 10, 11 years ago. And I had actually revamped the entire project to pitch to a couple of different mainstream publishers, but I couldn't get any traction with it. And my contract with DC was winding up. And I was trying to figure out, what's next? What am I going to do next? So what had happened was someone else had actually approached me about doing a comic project and getting the funding through a website called Kickstarter, which I'd never even heard of. So I looked at the website, and I just said to myself, if I'm gonna put the time, this looks like it's gonna be a lot of work to run the campaign. If I'm gonna put the time in, I might as well do it for something that I care about. Yeah. So I went through a couple of different ideas. I talked to some friends of mine, but I kept coming back to Molly as being the one that would really get people excited and get people interested in backing the project. So I spent that was like February. So between February and July, I basically just kept working on the campaign. I'm saying it really is watching the book come together, watching, looking at where I was, 2 years ago in terms of this project and how far it's gotten. Having the book, we're doing a preview for Free Comic Book Day. Okay. That'll be out.
Okay, that's next month, so I'll be sure to get that.
And when we got the numbers for an independent company, the company that's putting out Action Lab is a very small company, relatively new company, but to get the kind of numbers that we got for Free Comic Book Day, we were all just sort of blown away. And just the attention that the project has gotten from everyone has really just sort of made it all worthwhile.
Now, I got to ask you, you've worked on a lot of characters that you didn't create yourself. We did Supergirl, Zatanna, Kiss. You've done a lot of stuff. Now that you have your own baby, how do you feel when you turn it over to somebody else, and how protective are you going to be? Are you going to be the dad with the baseball bat? Like, don't you touch my girl. Don't you touch Molly Danger. I mean, has that happened yet? Have you had a little bit of empty nest syndrome? Have you had to turn it over to somebody else?
I've been approached by a couple of friends who've asked me if they can use Molly in their books, and knowing them and knowing the projects that they're doing, I don't really have a problem with it. So, but yes, I'm super protective of Molly. I'm super protective of Molly's image. What's the internet thing? Whatever the property there is, there's a.
Oh God, no! Is there already a Molly Danger? Easy now.
No, but I will.
There will be.
I will hunt them down and kill them.
There you go. So it's your baby. Don't you dare. If you're out there watching this right now and you have any backsided ideas about doing something bad, for God's sakes, go to a doctor. You sick bastards, you. Leave Molly alone.
Exactly.
Are you still out there doing some artwork for fans?
I am, mostly at conventions because it's harder for me to do like full-blown. I still have like a ton of commissions that were backer incentives for the Kickstarter that I need to get through after I finish the book. So yeah, I am going to be more towards the later part of the year. I think I'll be doing more conventions.
So if fans really want a unique original Jamal Igel, track you down at a convention, get early, get on that list, and if you're lucky, you might get some great artwork. Now, where can we find out more about Molly Danger right now, Jamal?
You can go to www.mollydanger.com, which is the direct portal, and or you can go to actionlabcomics.com. And get more information on the book.
Hi, I'm Dan Deo.
My name is Allen Bellman.
Hey, this is Brian O'Holler.
This is Anthony Snyder.
Hi, this is Jamal Igel, and you're watching Con Men.
Con Men.
Con Men.
Con Men.
Con Men. God bless you all. I love you guys.
Conman!
All right, well, that was Conman, Asbury Park edition. So, it's Deadpool, I'm here doing things. We're gonna blow up stuff. I'm gonna buy tacos, and I'm gonna get chimichangas, and I'm gonna invite my friend Wolverine over. We're gonna play Parcheesi, and then I'm gonna go hang out with Rogue, because she's hot, and then we're gonna do other things. It's gonna be really awesome. So, we're gonna do all that, and then, what else is going on? Why am I here? What am I talking for?
Up next is
What?
Kineticon.
Who is that voice? Voice? Is that you?
Yes, it's me.
Why are you here?
Because I'm going to tell you what we're featuring in the next TV show.
We're in a TV show? I got a TV show?
That's right, Deadpool.
What? No.
Yes.
What's Conmen? Why am I here? Are they paying me? Am I getting money?
No.
Again? You gotta remind me to stop signing things just because they're cool looking. Like, if they gave me like tacos and if they gave me some chimichangas, then I'd do it for free. But no, I don't do anything for free because I'm Deadpool. I work with a mouth. I like it. Shooting people. Bang, 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 bang.
Anyways, next time on Conmen, we venture out to Connecticut.
Ooh, that's in Connecticut, right?
That is correct, in
Yeah.
Hartford.
Yeah, like the place where they have people and they go around and there's a guy dressed like me with a top hat. I saw that. I was gonna kill him. Then I was like, dude, you got a top hat. That's cool.
Part of the fan club. We will also see Arthur Sudam, who is the artist.
He's a zombie dude. He writes things, draws pictures. I like pictures. You know what would be the really best picture in the world?
No.
You know what it would be, voice?
What would it be?
Dead zombie boobs. Boobs. Bang, 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 bang.
Next up, we would have John St. John.
Ooh, fun. Hey, that's the guy that did, what's that video game?
Duke
Nukem. Yeah. You know what the best part about Duke Nukem was?
What's that?
I'll give you one guess.
Boobs.
You know it, buddy! Yeah! Bang, 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 bang!
Next up, we would have the cosplay deathmatch.
Cosplay. You know what the best part about the cosplay deathmatch is?
No, what's that?
Anyone who plays as Deadpool automatically wins! Because we're the best! We can't die! Because we have powers. You know what kind of powers we have?
What kind of powers?
The powers that Wolverine had, but mine are better. You know why?
Why?
I don't have the weird things that come out of my hands. Those are strange.
Yes, very strange.
Looks like an angry cat. Can we go now?
Yes, Deadpool. Well, do you have anything else that you would like to add?
Tacos rule. And I like chimichangas as well. You know what, that one time I was walking down the street one day, it was a really good time. It was really fun. I was talking to Wolverine about stuff. I was like, hey, Wolverine, you got claws in your hand. Why'd you have claws in your hand? And I was like, hey, you know what's going on? I really like...